Hi, Zac Collins, physiotherapist with another energy tip for people who have chronic fatigue. And today's energy tip revolves around the idea of struggling. Don't do it. In fact, struggling is probably the worst thing that I think that you can do with chronic fatigue. When you struggle, you are basically saying that there's no other option and you are going to hit things with a bigger hammer. You're going to live the life of no pain, no gain, and it really does cause you to regress in terms of energy because struggling will drain your battery about as fast as anything can. Uh, Struggling basically embraces a lie, and the lie is that if you don't get what you need right now and fast, you're going to explode. Struggling, um, disappointment is fair. Everybody gets disappointed. But when the disappointment um, gets a little bit out of control and you start to struggle, whether it's, you know, physically or socially or psychologically, spiritually, when you start to this struggling can kind of morph into anxiety states and rage states, and these things really hold you back, and they really exact a cost on your energy systems. So, you know, there are many options to not struggling, but you know, perhaps where you start with all of this is to observe yourself and realize where you are struggling and when you are struggling, because let that be a cue for you to adapt whatever you're doing, building something, talking to somebody, um, you know, performing a task like sweeping or what have you that has you trying to endure a little bit longer than you're able to. And you know the feeling I'm talking about when you're pushing and you're feeling the fatigue coming on, and you're starting to get irritable and things aren't working, and you know, you're either ruining your project or you're just, I don't know, you're losing your balance. I go into this a little bit more in my book, Slow and Steady. Um, but anyways, when you start to struggle, you're losing your way in terms of finding your health back from fatigue, because that's not the way. Well, that's not the way I did it anyway. Um, what I would say is what struggle shows you is where you are weak. Whether you're disorganized or physically weak, or you know, you're not showing enough psychological talent, or you know, you're not problem solving like you should. Um, it basically shows you where you need to improve, where you need to step back and take a larger look at this picture and adapt. So a struggle means it's time to adapt, which isn't always a bad thing, because struggle can show you the way to where you are great. It can show you the talents that you have to take care of the problem at hand. It can show you that you're more creative than perhaps you thought you were, because you're going to have to find a creative answer to the problem. Um, it can guide you to using the right tool for the job to enhance your ability. I mean, there's more sophisticated ways of solving problems than hitting things with a bigger hammer. You know, you know, you're going to have to, your way is going to have to be subtle. You're going to have to be, you're going to have to negotiate through life, figuring out where you can be effective and how you can use the resources you have and the talents and the skills and abilities you have to tackle this problem. Uh, Throughout my history of fatigue, um, my recovery rather, I was faced with many, many challenges where I didn't have the physical um, strength to get these things done. And I was faced with major home renovations and damages that I had to come up that I had to solve because I didn't have the money to do this and I didn't have the energy to do this. So it was time to get smart. And um, I learned that I wasn't a bad tradesman. I mean, I started to learn carpentry and plumbing and electrical and foundation repair, and I just started to do these things bit by bit, piece by piece. I would I would purchase tools and 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 allow these tools to be extensions of myself, and get done the things I need to get done. I'd move things basically with my mind. I'd figure out how the best way to move a heavy object would be and how I could do that without hurting myself. That's the name of the game in struggle. It isn't how much you can get done, it's how much you can get done without causing harm to yourself and harm in any way. Um, it's how much you can get done and be productive and still wake up in the morning or days to come and feel refreshed. So I mean, I once had a physician say to me, "Well, you know it's time to go back to work when you can do a renovation around your house." Well, he was wrong because I used that as a test and I started to do renovations around my house. Yeah, I was getting them done, right? But it was killing me. I was fatigued for weeks, if not months. So what he should have said was, it's how much you can get done and still feel well. It's how much you can get done using your skills and abilities in a way that makes you feel independent and autonomous without causing harm to your body or undue fatigue. And that is how you find um, the answers to the questions that you're asking about yourself, because it's going to lead you to, if you use struggle in a positive way, you find your best qualities to solve the problem. You probably never knew they were there. Anyway, so that's a lot about struggle. But the take-home message today is, if you can help it, never struggle. Find a better way. Take a break. Think about it. Find a more sophisticated way, a more authentic way, a way that draws upon your talents and skills, or learn new talents and skills. Take that opportunity, even though you're super impatient and you want to get the job done, invest in yourself. But don't believe in struggle, because it's embracing a lie that will keep you sick, and every day you struggle is a day that you can't heal and get better. Okay, thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed this. Please hit the like bar if you did. That would help me a lot. Have yourself a wonderful day. Bye for now.